Hello, sports fans. This is the Bookmaker Podcast with Art Eftekhari, a.k.a. Mr. Bookmaker, your source for the sports betting industry 24/7. Sit back, relax, and listen as Mr. Bookmaker highlights what's happening right now in the world of sports. So, without further ado, here's your host, Art Eftekhari.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome back to another edition of the Bookmaker Podcast. I'm your host, Art Eftekhari. Great to have you back with us. You all know what to do. Get yourself to our website. You know the address, bookmakerinfo.com. That's www.bookmaker-info.com. Look, you are here to take your love of sports to the next level, and that's why you're listening to the Bookmaker Podcast. On our websites, we have the links to all the best European, Asian, and United States friendly bookmaker sites. We have steps on how to register, bet, and withdraw. Our bookmaker guide is there for you to download and help you so that you will become an expert in this entire online betting process. Now, to start things off, you know what time it is. It is time for our A to Z sports betting lingo. The word for today, the concept for today is fast company. Now, what do I mean by fast company? Smart bettors. And if you are always listening to the Bookmaker Podcast, you should be fast company. Before we get things started off, make sure when you're on our website, scroll down on bookmakerinfo.com and you will find the link to my football blog or soccer blog, depending on where you are in the world. Like I said, scroll down, you can't miss it. It'll say Mr. Bookmaker Football Blog. Check it out when you get the chance. I just uploaded a couple blogs about the latest information on the 8 remaining teams in Europe who are trying to qualify to the 2018 World Cup in Russia. For those playoff matchups, you got Croatia versus Greece, Switzerland versus Northern Ireland, Denmark versus the Republic of Ireland, and Italy versus Sweden. So check out my blog when you get the chance. Moving along now, I am on betvictor.com. It's my first time checking out this bookmaking site. Like I said, that is www.betvictor.com. And right now I'm interested in the English Premier League, just like I'm sure a lot of you football fans are, or soccer. So coming up this weekend, on Friday, the 20th of October, West Ham United will be hosting Brighton. The odds here are 20-23 for West Ham, 5-2 for a draw, 19-5 for Brighton. Then the next day, the 21st of October, Chelsea will be hosting Watford at Stamford Bridge. And for anyone who pays attention to the Premier League a lot, last week Chelsea were defeated by Crystal Palace. 2-1. It was Crystal Palace's first win of the season, and they scored their first 2 goals of the season. And wow, would you believe it? Defeated Chelsea by a score of 2-1. And what about Crystal Palace? They'll be on the road against Newcastle United. Maybe people are wondering, what are the bookies thinking now? Well, for Newcastle, the odds are 1-1, 5-2 for a draw, 31-10 for Crystal Palace. So if you think Crystal Palace could start a streak, well, get to betvictor.com and put a wager on Crystal Palace. Manchester United will be on the road against Huddersfield Town. The home side there, Huddersfield, 9-1 odds, 4-1 odds for a draw, 4-11 for Manchester United. No surprise that they are heavily favored. Manchester City will be hosting Burnley. Burnley, of course, heavy underdogs at 21-1. The odds for a draw are 21-2, and as for Manchester City, 1-16. Check out the other matchups for this coming weekend for the English Premier League. On Sunday, Everton will be hosting Arsenal. The odds here are 29-10 for Everton, 27-10 for a draw, 1-1 for Arsenal. Tottenham will be hosting Liverpool. That should be an entertaining match. Odds here show 5-4 for Tottenham, 13-5 for a draw, 23-10 for Liverpool. So like I said, get yourself to betvictor.com. That's www.betvictor.com.
Flight 209er, clear for Vector 324.
We have clearance, Clarence.
Roger. What's our vector, Victor?
And before we continue, make sure you check out our website. You know the address, bookmakerinfo.com. That's www.bookmaker-info.com. On our website, you have easy access to the Bookmaker 101 Basics. That includes steps on how to register, bet, and withdraw. Our Bookmaker Guide is available to download. Read through it at least 2 or 3 times. Remember, I want you to become an expert on this whole entire online sports betting process. And remember, we have betting strategies, tips. Don't forget about our A to Z sports betting lingo. Remember, you may not sound like an expert just yet, but keep on listening to the Bookmaker Podcast. Check out our website, and you'll be good to go. You know what time it is. It is time to hear the odds and this weekend's matchups for Week 7 of the National Football League. And I'm on topbet.com. That's www.topbet.com or topbet.eu, whatever works. Either way, as far as I know, this is one of those United States-friendly bookmaker sites. And let's see what's going on this weekend. First, you got the Tennessee Titans at the Cleveland Browns. The Titans are favored by 6. As for the money line, negative 250 for the Titans, positive 210 for the Browns. Titans are 3-3. The Browns are 0-6. Can they possibly get their first win of the season? Last game they were on the road, they lost 33-17 against the Texans. Well, let's see what happens this time. Then you got the Jacksonville Jaguars on the road against the Indianapolis Colts. The Jaguars are favored by 3.5. As for the money line, negative 170 for the Jaguars, positive 150 for the Colts. Then you got the Cincinnati Bengals at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers favored by 5.5. As for the money line, positive 200 for the Bengals, negative 240 for the Steelers. The Ravens will be on the road against the Minnesota Vikings. Vikings favored by 5.5. As for the money line, negative 240 for the Vikes, positive 200 for the Ravens. The New York Jets on the road against the Miami Dolphins. To many football fans' surprise, the Jets are 3-3. The Dolphins, though, are favored by 3.5. Now for the money line, positive 155 for the Jets, negative 175 for the Dolphins. The Buccaneers will be on the road against the Buffalo Bills. Right now, we don't have any information on the spread, so get to topbet.com. That will change soon. The Panthers will be on the road against the Bears. Panthers favored by 3.5. And for the money line, negative 165 for Carolina, positive 145 for the Bears. The New Orleans Saints at the Green Bay Packers. Now, this will be interesting to see how this goes. As you all know, starting quarterback for the Green Bay Packers, Aaron Rodgers, injured. Looks like he might be lost for the season with a broken collarbone. What a huge loss that is. So Brett Hundley, who entered the season as the backup quarterback, will be behind center. And as for the odds here, the Saints are favored by 6. And yes, this game is at Lambeau Field. Now for the money line, negative 250 for the Saints, positive 210 for the Packers. The Arizona Cardinals on the road against the LA Rams. Rams favored by 3.5. The money line here shows positive 160 for the Cardinals, negative 190 for the Rams. The Dallas Cowboys will be playing on the road against the San Francisco 49ers. And as for the 49ers, the C.J. Beathard era has began. The rookie from the University of Iowa will be making his first start in the National Football League after taking over for Brian Hoyer in last week's loss on the road against the Washington Redskins. Cowboys are 2-3. Things are not going to plan for them. The Niners are 0-6. Can they possibly get that first win of the season? How sweet it would be to get that win against a historical National Football League rival. Anyways, don't want to get too carried away. Cowboys favored by 6. The money line shows positive 220 for the Niners, negative 260 for the Cowboys. The Seattle Seahawks on the road against the New York Giants. Seahawks favored by 5.5. The Giants, though, coming off a surprising win against the Denver Broncos. That was their first win of the season, so they are no longer in the over conversation. Like I said, Seahawks favored by 5.5. Moneyline shows negative 245 for Seattle, positive 205 for the Giants. The Broncos on the road against the LA Chargers. Chargers favored by 1. And as for right now, Moneyline is not available, so check back as soon as you can to topbet.com. Then you got a rematch from last season's Super Bowl, the Falcons at the Patriots. Patriots favored by 3.5. Moneyline shows positive 160 for the Falcons, negative 190 for the Patriots. The Falcons are 3-2, the Patriots are 4-2. And even if the Falcons win, I guess maybe you could say there's some sort of revenge, but not really. And last but not least, the Washington Redskins at the Philadelphia Eagles. That will be the Monday night game. Eagles favored by 4.5. They are 5-1. The Redskins are 3-2. Moneyline shows positive 180 for the Redskins, negative 220 for the Eagles. Should be some interesting games. Like I said, get to topbet.com, place a wager on your favorite team, or also try a parlay. I was looking at Top Bet earlier. They have some really cool props as well. Whatever game you're going to be placing a wager on or whatever game you're interested in, you can choose who you think's going to score a touchdown first, whether it's a running back, maybe a wide receiver. But of course, those players have to start. So pay attention to the detail when you get to topbet.com. All right, everybody, that's it for this edition of the Bookmaker Podcast. Really glad you're able to join us. Remember, I want you to take your love of sports to the next level. Make sure you access our Bookmaker 101 Basics. I want you to know the steps on how to register, bet, and withdraw. Our Bookmaker Guide is available to download. I want you to read through it, not just once, but at least 2 or 3 times, so you can become an expert on this entire online betting process. Earlier, I mentioned the A to Z sports betting lingo. Remember, learn it, live it, love it.
I want the kids in bed by 9. I want the dog fed, the yard watered, and the gate locked. And get a note to the milkman. No more cheese.
This has been the Bookmaker Podcast with Art Eftekhari, a.k.a. Mr. Bookmaker. Thanks for listening. If you haven't already, please show some love by subscribing to this podcast on iTunes or Stitcher. Till next time, this is Mr. Bookmaker over and out.